Hey guys, this is Chesney Hawkes here. You are watching My Hammers 11 with the one and only Russ.
Hi everybody, Russ and My Hammers 11. Hope you're all safe and well. If you're new to the channel, please consider subscribing, hitting the bell icon to be notified anytime I put new content on. As always, I'd like to thank our lovely channel sponsors, Untitled. Check them out in the description below. Today is a guest who's got a similar amount of hair to me. Oh, do you know, as I said to you before, he's like, this is long for me. And that's your lockdown hair, Johnny. I'm quite impressed. It's Johnny from West Ham Fan Zone. He's doing a lot of stuff on Twitter and gearing up for when we can have live events and stuff like that, which is good. How are you, Johnny, man?
Yeah, really good. Thanks for having me on, Russ. Really
absolute pleasure. Yeah, absolute pleasure, buddy. Now, I wanted to get you on because it was I mean, let's talk about the West Ham Fan Zone stuff first. Because I mean, you know, why did you start? What was the thoughts behind starting the Twitter stuff, and obviously moving into the evenings and nights when we can meet up? What was sort of the whole story behind it?
Yeah, sure. So the West Ham Fan Zone, I set up a Facebook page about 7 years ago, and now we're actually the largest West Ham supporters page on Facebook with 38,000 fans. We're on Twitter and Instagram as well. We've sort of got smaller fan bases on there, but yeah, we've got a whole community going on. It's just been really, really fun to watch that grow. We've, been growing a lot more recently as well with West Ham doing so well. More and more people are interested in the news, and it's always when you're performing well, it goes better because people want to interact more. But yeah, it's so much fun to do, and it means that I get to stay up to date with the club, and I just absolutely love doing it. And brilliant. Like you mentioned, we've got an event coming up on June 26th in Hornchurch Conservative Club. We are doing an end of season party with Tony Cottee and Frank McAvenny. So it's an opportunity for West Ham fans to come along and meet club legends. And this is just the first of many that we've got in the pipeline. So it's really exciting.
Yeah, it's cool. And it's great for me because it's literally a 2-minute walk.
Yeah,
that's it.
Ideal.
That's
ideal.
it. Well, that's ideal. But I was going to say, you say people can come, but it's sold out.
Yep, it's sold out. This part. We're hoping this one's going to be a great success. And as I say, we've got a lot more in the pipeline, so people will be able to get tickets in the future for other events.
No, it's good, man. It's good, man. And is it hosted by Wardy as well, isn't it?
Yeah. Mark Ward's going to be there. He's sort of doing the questioning, and we're just going to hear stories from those three. So yeah, it's going to be a really, really great evening, and it's the first one after lockdown. So yeah, it's going to be so much fun to see the West Ham.
Yeah, I think that might be the first time all three of them have been doing an evening. I know. I've seen Macca and Cottee and Wardy and Macca, but all three of them. Yes, it's going to be good. It's going to be good fun, and I'll be there. Obviously, just flying the flag. Might as well. It's just down the road. That's what I mean, Johnny. It's like it's probably the closest. Actually, no, the Queen's Theatre is slightly closer. So next time, that's about another 200 yards down the road. But yeah, that'd be good. Be good fun. And he said it'd be end of the season, so it'd be a Champions League celebrating party, which is even better. Could you imagine? What it's going to be like if that's the case? Bloody hell. But I mean, yeah. And apart from obviously that, you mentioned obviously during lockdown and obviously this season they've been doing a lot better, so the page has been growing. But how have you been? Johnny?
Yeah, I think because West Ham have been doing well, it's made it a lot easier for me.
Yeah.
Obviously it's been really difficult. I'm 22, so right now I just want to be out and about doing stuff. Should be at uni, but I'm stuck at home. So it's been difficult, but having West Ham every weekend and winning so many games, it's made it a lot more enjoyable and a lot easier to get through. I'm really looking forward to everything opening up.
Yeah, definitely, it's true. It's the one thing which West Ham always plays in the back of our minds, but as you said, it's the one thing which hasn't had to happen considering everything else that's gone in the world so far. So it's a light relief, so to speak. And as you said, it's exciting, isn't it? Every time now that West Ham play, when the game's finished, you want the next game to kick off straight away because, particularly at the moment, particularly the last bloody 3 games, we scored 9 goals and conceded 7 or something ridiculous, or 6, 7, no, 7. Yeah.
Watch. Oh my God, my heart. I was saying to my mates, the last 10 minutes of each of the last 3 games, I've basically just been on the floor, like just waiting for them to throw the whistle. It's been going so slowly. But yeah, we've got through, so it's great.
It is, yeah. It's the 3 points that matter. Hopefully, you won't go to goal difference by the end of the season because be a bugger. But yeah, no, I've got a good feeling. I've got a good feeling about this season. I think it's but wherever we finish this season, it's been a great season. I know we've still got 7 games left, and we know so much can change. But considering when we finished last season, it's chalk and cheese. I just can't. I still can't really process my head around the level of improvement with the same squad really that he finished the season with. To be fair, bar maybe Coufal and Ben Rama really got much, and obviously Lingard now a bit different. But until Lingard came along, it was relatively the same squad, and he's getting a good tune out of him, Moisey. And I mean, I know you talk to the obviously people like TC and Maka and people like that, and obviously me too, and they're so impressed by David Moyes and just the backroom staff, and I mean, someone made a good point, to me the other day. Is this as good as the team in 85, 86? And at different eras, but this is my and your 85, 86 team, unfortunately. But I hope it's not. I hope next year we finish 4th and 5th.
Yeah, we've got to see, because I think that's the thing. What I think a lot of West Ham fans are fearing is, this will be a one-off, and then there won't be the investment to carry on. I really hope this is a springboard for us to now, move on and try to cement ourselves as a top 8, top 6 club in the Premier League. That has to be the aim now. That has to be the aim. We've got to invest in order to do that.
Yeah, no, you're right, and it's true. I mean, everyone looks at and I've said it before on channel recently. People saying, "Oh, it's." Our last season was the last season at the Bowling, and I think that was a bit of and I think that season was like, because traditionally we have a good season then play rubbish for 3 or 4 seasons. But I think that season was like, you can't really look at that as a good season, because for me it was a different season, and every player, looking back at it, if I was like, dissecting it, like if I was an analyst at half time on Sky Sports. For me, it was looking at it now with my rose-tinted glasses off. It was a good season, but it was pretty much just give the ball to Payet.
Yeah,
really, realistically, yeah. And and the players around him, if they're all playing FIFA, they've all got a +5 attribute card because basically it's the last time we're playing Arsenal at the Bowling. It's the last time we're playing Liverpool at the Bowling. So naturally, they are going to be playing more. This team's different. This team would piss on that team. Absolutely pissing that team in terms of team spirit, morale. Christ, look where we are now. Where we've Declan Rice is out. We've got Antonio out for the season. Ogbonna's been out. Those are 3 of our starters. Cresswell's probably going to be out for the next game. So that's 4 of our first team, and we're probably not still getting a result in Newcastle because of that. That's some balls. It's like where we had that season at the Bowling when Payet was injured, we were crap. We were proper crap, and then he came back. It was like, better again. So, yeah,
he dragged us out of a lot of holes, didn't he, that season? And it's like you say, it's a squad now. And we did a post on the page the other day, just saying, no Ogbonna, no Antonio, no Rice, which is pretty much the spine of the team. All missing, and we've still got 2 fantastic results in the last 2 games, and we're still in the top 4. So it just shows the squad harmony and. The strength of all the players this season and the mindset. Yeah, it's definitely for me a better team overall. And like you say, if the 2 played each other, I think this team would play the other team off the park, definitely.
As long as there's no free kicks at 25 yards out, we're anywhere. Anywhere. But I mean, it is what it is. And as you said, I think Moyes gets, rightly so. It seems like the football world's turning back on to David Moyes. It's for me, like they turned their back a little bit. He was sort of like the black sheep, but they seem to be embracing. And he seems to be like, I remember when he first started for the when he came back, he was like just doom. He just looked grey, and now he's smiling, and it's really nice to see. And as you said, there's a real team spirit. I mean, obviously, I'm there at the grounds, so I see a lot of stuff which no one else sees. And so, one of the things which I don't remember any manager doing is about an hour and a half before the game, all the squad go for a little walk around the pitch, all of them. They might have headphones in or whatever. They might be jostling with each other, all masked up. But they go for a little walk around the pitch. Lovely. including Davy Moyes, including Alan Irvine and Kevin and Steve. They all just go for a little walk, and it's just lovely. And it's stuff like that, just like it's such a team bond there now, and it's just lovely to see. And it's great. I think anything, to be honest, obviously it's horrible what's gone on in the world and how it's completely changed everything we've done. But for West Ham, I think it's really helped us. I really think it has as a club, as a supporter base. We were quite fractious, I think, last season, like in the summer last year. You'd have known it more than ever on, having to admin posts and stuff on Facebook.
Yeah, 100%.
Very much, it wasn't a nice place. Now we all come back, maybe hopefully for that Southampton game, for those 10,000 who were lucky enough, and come, obviously Champions League qualifiers in July rather, of course. We'll be coming back. We'll be chomping a bit to go back there. We'll be chomping a bit to sing and cheer the crowd and cheer the players, and it's I think it's been the making of it's the reborn of West Ham. That's the way I see it. Because there was a lot of obviously leaving the bowling, people, But I think this has started us again. We've got a team to be proud of, and it's good. And hopefully, as I said, come June, when we can all come back and everyone, you don't have to wear masks anymore, or we can shake hands. That's going to be the weirdest thing. Everyone's going to have a really limp handshake, aren't they? So everyone's used to doing that. Everyone's used to doing that or doing that. They're going to proper, it feels
going to be
weird.
a bit cautious, aren't they?
Yeah, it's like all the shops and pubs open now. It's like my wife said to me, I said to my wife, "Oh, you probably go down the shops, aren't you?" She went, "I don't know if I want to be honest." It's like there's going to be that sort of hesitancy, but yeah. Although the pubs don't seem to worry. Christ, walking through Hornchurch today, God dear,
absolutely packed, aren't they?
Oh, it's mental. Where do you live, Johnny?
I live in Essex, near like Bishop Stortford area.
Oh, lovely. Nice.
But yeah, the pubs are absolutely packed here as well. So I think they were calling it Pubmas yesterday, weren't they? Merry Pubmas. Everybody was going back out and getting a draft pint. So no, it's nice to see. It's good to see that everything's going a bit more back to normal.
Yeah, it's a bit. Yeah, although I feel like a real sort of what's the word? I don't know. Like I walk past like the pubs now. Like last 2 days, I've taken my dog for a walk, and I wince a little bit. Do you know what I mean? I don't know why, because it's like actually, it's fair play. This is what we're allowed to do now. But part of me thinks, there's too many people there. It's like, the gyms
it's going to take a bit of getting used to, isn't it?
Exactly. It's the gyms I don't get, because I think the pubs are outside, but it's the gyms. You're thinking it's all a bit close, a bit sweaty, and most people who go to the gym probably haven't been vaccinated yet, because they're probably under the age of 40.
Yeah, that's a very good point. Yeah,
pubs were crawled with like young lads and stuff, and fair play to them. But no, I think I'll wait for my second jab.
Yeah,
but I'm not a pub person anyway. I'm not a pub person. But the good news is because of the COVID, because everything's happened, the Conservative Club in Hornchurch has completely redone itself out the back. That's all new. It's all new now compared to so.
I haven't actually been there before, but I've seen some images, and it looks like it's going to be an absolutely awesome venue. From what we've heard from other people, it's going to be a really, really good venue for that night. So can't wait.
I say this now, Johnny. My daughter had her birthday party there, so if my daughter had a birthday party there, Mrs. Budden had, decreed it's a worthy venue. So there we go. So
I'll take your word for it.
Well, don't take my word. Take Mrs. Budden's word for it. And I did say to her, they got a night down the Conservative Club. I said, that's a good idea. That's it. It's fountain of knowledge, John. Right. Okay. So first question, 14 minutes in. Why West Ham, Johnny? Why West Ham, man? Well,
growing up, my dad was never really into football. My uncle was a massive football fan, and he was a West Ham fan. And I was sort of, growing up in Essex, so it's the closest team, and it made a lot of sense. And then probably when I was about 6 or 7, I remember Michael came up to me and said, "Look, set yourself on West Ham. I'll give you a tenner if you support West Ham." And he said it's the best £10 he's ever spent, because now he's always got someone to watch the football with. And since then, just been West Ham through and through from that day. So, but sometimes I think £10 to go through some of the suffering.
For a tenner, when you're a youngster, a tenner's fine. But now, Christ, Yeah, if I said inflation on that now. Inflation, definitely. If my daughter said that to me now, it wouldn't be a tenner. It would be £10 worth of Robux or whatever they should. What the kids do. I don't know. I don't understand what goes on with these kids. But yeah, God, that's not a bad level of investment. He's thinking ahead. Then, as you said, that's like buying Bitcoin when it started. That was
exactly.
That was investment for the future. That's very good, man. And as you said, once you go, that's it. You're hooked, aren't you? You're just hooked.
100%.
And also, I mean, for a lot, I mean, I thought I saw something the other day about it, and you got to think when you're young and you go to the bowling ground or London Stadium now, for a lot of kids, that's the most amount of people they've ever seen in one place. It's 35 or almost 60,000 at London Stadium. That's a lot of people, obviously not at the moment, but it's a lot of people to see in one place. So it must have been, I can't remember being intimidated though by it. When I went to my first game, which was early 90s really, I don't remember being intimidated by all these people, but I should have been, because it's just too, you have maybe 30 people in your class, maybe a school assembly, you might have 100 or so, but this is like thousands of people. I think also the game I went to wasn't very well attended. I think we had about 11,000 anyway, so it was like ease myself in. But yeah, it's one of those things, isn't it, where it was like the other day, I was talking to someone and they were talking back about the first game they went to, and it turned out it was the same first game as I went to. So,
oh, really?
We sort of relived those memories, and I've been fortunate enough to interview a lot of players who played in that game, Julian Dix, for example. And I said to Julian, obviously you scored the first goal I ever saw at the bowling. And I told him the game. He went, I scored 2 then, Russ. I know you scored 2, but you scored the first one I saw, Actually, it wasn't the first goal I saw.
He's not letting any of them go.
No, it never does. They never do. Watch out for Tony Cotties. All I'm telling you, if you get any, TC, God dear. I tried to make sure I had all the stats ready, everything, and I'd stupidly Wikipedia'd how many England caps he got, and it's always wrong. Wikipedia is always wrong.
Always wrong.
I was one out. I gave him either one too many or one less. Whatever it was, he picked up on it. But yeah, they do care about these things. Which is incredible when you think how many games people play and they still remember Tony Cotty will remember every goal he scored, basically. Encyclopedic memories. Yeah. I just find it phenomenal. I can't remember. It's like remembering what dinner you had every night. It's yeah. Although for me it was a kebab tonight, a Tuesday kebab. Mental.
Very nice.
It's Friday. We always have Friday kebab, but Mrs. Budden, oh dear, well, she didn't want me to do any cooking today. God, mental. Anyway, my life. That's right, and that's really close to Conservative Club, that kebab shop. So it's always good. Get some good fish and chips after the event up the road. So it's all good.
Yeah, I might have to pop in after.
Yeah, oh my cod. Say Russ sent you. Right, let's go on and talk about your 11. So as I said, everyone we get on the channel has to put together, well, not has to, but some people haven't. Harry Redknapp, Ian Bishop, Nigel Reed-Coker, everyone else has put together an 11 from the players. You can pick whatever criteria you want. It doesn't have to be the best. It can be the worst. It could be your cult hero favourites, your heart 11 or injured 11. We've had them all. But the only rule is you have to be alive to have seen them play. Yeah. That's only it. It's only fair enough. Otherwise, everyone would put Bobby Moore, Billy Bonds, Trevor Brooking, but yourself and me weren't around there to see them, sadly. Yeah. I saw them both manage. I saw Bonds and Brooking manage, but never saw them play. So they weren't in my team. So, it's good. We've had over 300 guests now on the channel. It's mental. And almost a year. We've almost been live for a year in 2 weeks. There we go. Celebrations. And almost 500,000 video views as well, for those of you who are static.
Wow, congratulations.
Yeah, I'm very impressed. It's only because I looked at it today and I thought, oh, that's quite a lot. Oh, I didn't realise how much it was. But anyway, we're not talking about me, we're talking about you. Right, so that's what we do. We'll do 11. So we'll start off between the sticks, Johnny. So who is in goal for the Johnny 11?
Okay, so I've kind of picked my 11 based on players that I've just got really good memories of, and then mixed in some of my favourite players and the best players that I've seen. Yeah. And I've tried not to be too drawn in by the success of this season and pick too many players from this season. So I've tried to pick some from different eras. Nice. So yeah, we'll see. But in between the sticks, I've gone for Jussi Jaaskelainen, Finland's number 1, just because he really reminds me of the bowling ground. He was in goal when I was first going to games, and I was a goalkeeper when I was younger. So I tried to model myself off him, and just got good memories of seeing Finland's number 1. And just the atmosphere at the bowling. He just brings back those memories for me. So yeah, Jaaskelainen in goal.
Oh, that's a great shout, you see. Yeah, he doesn't. Yeah, I mean, he came in and did a really good job for us, didn't he? He came in and was just solid, and he was what we needed. I always found him a very untidy goalkeeper because he had his shirts. He always had his shirts untucked, didn't he? Shirts untucked, baggy shirts. But yeah, he was a great shout, and he always plays well. He always played well when he was at playing for Bolton against us. It always seemed. But no, yeah, so I like that one. That's a good start. I like that. I like that. It does mean I have to type Jaaskelainen into the spreadsheet.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Doesn't matter. Doesn't matter. I won't. And obviously, for our Scandinavian friends, I will not be using the asterisks because I can't get them on my computer. Yeah. Just so, because everyone go, oh, you didn't put the asterisks on. It's really not. It's Jaaskelainen. So anyway, so that's use. I could have just put UC. I'm just making sure I spell him right while I'm talking to you at the same time. You multitask here on my Hammers 11. Right. Okay. UC's in. Okay. UC's in as much as I can get him. Okay. Right. So who is? Let's go defence. So you go for you do it into the order you want to go through, man.
Okay, I'll go right to left. So right back, I think through my lifetime, West Ham have only really had one properly decent right back. It's got to be Vlad Coufal for me. Just an absolute beast. 7 out of 10 at least every single week. I know he's only been here for about a season, but he's just been unbelievable. And him and Souček, their link up, it's amazing to see. So it has to be Coufal on the right.
And it's incredible the sort of the impact he's made. Leicester away this season was his first game, wasn't it? I think. It would have been the Leicester game, wasn't it? Because he just turned up and he was like, and a bit like sort of Craig Dawson, really. We sort of turned up and you thought, what the fuck can you get for £5 million? It's like. What we got here, some dross, and he just walked in, just like turned up like he played all season with us. He'd gone for a pre-season. Yeah, brilliant. I love the way the Czech boys have integrated themselves. They've really got themselves in to like the whole community side as well, and it's great to see. And they're loving life. I mean, he's my pick for Hammer of the Year. Part of the reason is because he won't win it. Because he's 7 out of 10 every game. Do you know what I mean? When I started supporting West Ham, we had a right back who joined a couple of years in called Tim Breaker. He is Tim Breaker. Tim Breaker was 7, 8 out of 10 every game. But because of that, you sort of glazed over him. John Cena, you can't see me because he wasn't scoring the goals. He wasn't making lung busting runs into the box. He was just there doing his job, and it was almost like you got a bit sort of blinkered by it. But I think Vlad's great, and again, one of those players this season who we can, if God forbid we sold him, we would treble, quadruple our money for him. 5 million, you wouldn't get 5, you get 15, 20 million at least nowadays.
It's crazy, isn't it?
But yeah, he's absolutely brilliant. And I do love the fact that on Instagram, him and Souček, he always takes a picture of him and Souček.
Get the little photo together, yeah. I love that. I think
it's like I always think it's like he's won a competition. Do you know what I mean? It's like, I can't believe I'm here either, you know what I mean? But no, it's brilliant. If anything, those boys have just introduced us to the ambassador, and the Czech ambassador is an absolute legend. And if he I reckon he could get runner up. Coufal could get run up of the Hammer of the Year award, and Souček would win it, and the ambassador would absolutely go mental, wouldn't he?
He would go mad.
Cycle all the way around the London Stadium like it was a velodrome. It just take to the velodrome. He just did a velodrome instead. Bless him.
Keep going around.
Right, we'll put Vlad in. Vlad's in. Who's next, my man?
Right, so right centre-back, I'm going to go with Ginger Pele, James Collins.
Nice.
Proper old-fashioned centre-back. Actually lives near me, so I see him out and about quite a bit. And
when you see him next, can you tell him to respond to my Instagram messages? Because I've been told to Instagram him several times. Just tell him. I'll let him know. Russ, just message him back, mate. Cheers.
Check your DMs.
Check your DMs, you lazy bugger. Anyway, go on,
I was just saying, his kids used to swim at the secondary school I went to, so he used to pick him up sometimes, and he wore a flat cap so that you couldn't see, but he had a full blacked out Range Rover, so he always knew when he arrived. And we used to play football on the green and kick the ball over to him and try to get him to kick it back, but he always ignored us. But it was worth a try. It's worth a try.
I love it. He's such a dude,
what
isn't
a
he?
player, what a player.
And you're right, sort of no nonsense defender that we all love. We love them. I think that's why we've sort of taken to Mr. Dawson so much, because again, he proved us all wrong, which we're all happy to be proven wrong. But he's got that sort of a bit like GP in terms of mentality. He'll just put any part of his body in front of the ball. And as much as we like cultured defenders, playing it from the back, we want people to roll their sleeves up and have a go. And Ginge epitomised that. Absolutely epitomised that.
Yeah.
Right. Yeah. GP's in. Who's next?
I'm going to go with Ogbonna next to him. I think he's been consistent for a few years, but this year he's just been absolutely unbelievable. Some of the performances he's put in, getting the ball out, but also just being composed on the ball at the back. I can't wait to have him back. Hopefully, I've heard he's going to be in the squad this weekend. I don't know if he'll be fit enough to start, but especially because I think Cresswell tweeted today that Cresswell's out for 3 weeks. So maybe we can get Ogbonna in that left centre back role in the back 3-5. So but what a player, and I think he complements James Collins well in the team as well. So
definitely, and you're right. He's just found it, but like this season, he's found the form of his life. Just he's 32 now, towards the twilight of his career. It's typical, isn't it? But I know what you mean. I think there's a reason why we've conceded 7 goals in 3 games. I think Dawson and Ogbonna work together as a pair, and I think Dawson and they can. It always seems like they're doing their own job, but I think Dawson's always trying to second guess what Diop. So he's almost doing 2 jobs, and again, I think that was the issue sometimes when Deck and Nobes used to play together before Souček came into the frame. Deck was almost doing 2 jobs, and I think I think Oggy's he's, and again, it's a shame he's been injured, because I think he was well up there for Hammer of the Year, and I think maybe he may just lose a few votes because of it, because he's not, but is what it is, isn't it? But he's brilliant, isn't he? I think he's great, and you maybe with Cress coming back, maybe he could play the left-sided, and then Masu, or maybe Ben Johnson potentially.
Maybe Ben Johnson, Ben Johnson, I mean, got to trust Moyes. In
Moyes we trust, Johnny. In Moyes we trust, man. I didn't want to buy a striker in January because he wanted to wait till the summer. I trust him. Him. It's his decision. Yep. Right. Okay, so we've got Coufal, Collins, Ogbonna. Who is next?
Left back, I've gone with Aaron Cresswell. He was in both the 15-16 team and the current team, probably the best teams I've seen since I've been alive. And I saw a stat that, he's only really just behind Noble in appearances for the club. He's made a lot of appearances for West Ham. He's been consistent for us over so many years, been the absolute, stalwart at left back, starter. He's been budged out by Masuaku a little bit over the years, but he's pretty much started every game for the last, 4 or 5 years, bar injuries. And he's very, very consistent. And he's almost found like a new lease of life at this left centre back position when he's played in a 5 this year. But even in a back 4, he's looked really impressive. So, really, really good left back. And he has to be in the team.
Yeah, you're right. And also, I mean, he recently took over from Carlton in terms of the Premier League appearances. So it was Noble. Then I think it was Carlton Cole. Then it was Cresswell. I think he's like 1 ahead now, or 2 ahead of Carlton Cole now. But he's been around for a long time. And this is a renaissance way of describing it, really. And Moyes does that, man. He does that. There's lots of players. It's not just 1 or 2 players. You mentioned Masuaku, the renaissance of Masuaku. He was a bit player before Moyes came back. And the thought of him going on international duty and coming back injured, we were like, so what? You know what I mean? But I remember the beginning during this season when he came back, and he came back early from international duty. I remember, and everyone was like, "Why has he come back? He's not injured, is he? He's not injured." He's like critical. It's like it was a complete change of our perception of Masuaku, and it's great to see him back in the team because he offers something which we don't have, and that's that sort of left-sided. He's not even a defender really, left winger, but You know, he's got a bit of trick about him. He brings the ball forward quite a lot. We haven't got a lot of players who just pick up the ball and run forward. We've got a lot of players.
He's exciting to watch, isn't he?
Yeah,
he's exciting.
Yeah, and he's got the tricks, hasn't he? He's got some tricks on him. You know, he did. You know, the other day he sort of gave Pereira a bit of a run around, to be honest. But right, okay. Coufal, Collins, Ogbonna, Cresswell, midfield now. Midfield.
So the first centre mid I've gone for just made his 400th Premier League appearance. It's got to be Mark Noble. You know, he's been in the team for as long as I can remember watching West Ham. And although, you know, he's not a nailed-on starter now, you know, he's still so important to the squad. And you can see, like, the players respect him so much, and to actually have him around and to have a West Ham fan in the squad, I think is such an important thing. And I think a lot of teams have lost that. And he just brings us something unique, and you know, he just embodies West Ham, doesn't he? It's just it's brilliant to have him in the squad.
He totally does, and you're totally right in what you say in terms of, you know, it's an unusual quantity. I mean, he's I read the stat. He's one of only 8 ever players who have played at least 400 games for one club or something ridiculous like that. It's mental. And as you said, being a fan, being the club captain. Again, you know, there's a connection there with the fans and the team. He's like the in the middle of the Venn diagram, and you know, obviously, you know the guys have got so much respect for him. Bloody hell, Deck runs like round the pitch to put a bloody armband back on him. You know, when he comes on. So, and that's not coming from Mark. Mark wouldn't care less about that, but it's Declan wanting to know you're the gaff, you're the skipper.
It's the respect, isn't it?
And And I mean, now, you know, he's proving people wrong again. You know, that's what I love about Mark. He always does that. As soon as people start doubting him, he had some criticism, and obviously Deck not, you know, being injured. I was like, oh, fuck, it means Mark's going to have to start. The last 2 games, I think Mark's played the best 2 games I've seen him play for about 18 months.
Yeah. No, I 100% agree. And he gets so much stick, Noble. He gets so much stick. People, whenever they see him in the starting lineup, they're like, oh, not Noble. I think a lot of it is because Moyes has, in a few teams this season, played him in like a 10 role.
Yes,
which
exactly.
He cannot play, and the game passes him by because that's not part of his skill set. But I think as a deep lying midfielder, as a defensive midfielder, when he's behind Souček and Rice, or when he's just playing on his own and then he's got Souček in front of him, I think he can do a real job. Especially, I always think he plays well in high pressured games, in big games. And you know, there's not many bigger games in these last 9, and I think he can really bring it. And yeah, he's played well so far, and I really hope it continues and he keeps proving people wrong.
You're totally right. Just the position, he's in the right position for him now, you know. And as I said, I think people turn their noses up to him because it was Rice, it was Souček, and then it was, as you said, it was Noble playing as a number 10, and that frustrated people, particularly as there was other people potentially on the bench who could do other jobs, Ben Rahm and people like that. So I totally get that, but I think he's and hopefully, you know, hopefully he's all right for Newcastle. You know, his arm, I don't know. But
I haven't heard anything.
I haven't heard nothing. But it's one of those things where, you know, and that's what I like about our team at the moment. If we can't predict our 11, how's Steve Bruce going to predict it? Do you know what I mean? And that's what I love about it. You know, it's always a twist. He'll throw Ben Rama in, or he'll put someone here, and you know, and that's what I love about our team at the moment. And just 1 or 2 places get changed, and the whole team looks different, and it's brilliant. Right, Marky Noble's in. Who's next then, Johnny?
I think I'm going to go with Cheikhou Kouyate, just because I've got some really good memories of some goals that he scored. And I just enjoyed watching him play. He was one of those players who could do it in both boxes. You know, he's a tough tackler, good goal scorer. I could easily go with someone like Rice or Souček, but as I say, I don't want to put too many people. I don't want to be blinded by the fact that we've just done so well recently. So yeah, I'm going to go Cheikhou Kouyate because it's got some good memories of him.
Yeah, no, and he's yeah. I mean, when he was in his pomp, he was like, he could be devastating, couldn't he? On his day, he could literally. He was a man mountain, as you said, like top bloke as well. Lovely guy.
Yeah, always seemed happy sweet in all the videos you saw.
And when we used to do the open training sessions at the bowling, particularly, it was him, Sacco, Valencia, Adrian. These guys were literally there for hours after everyone else, signing everyone's shirt, taking pictures with everyone. He loved his time there. Loved it. I think he was probably devastated to have left. I got. It sounds a really wanky memory, but I was. I remember it was me, Kouyate, and Sacco in the dugout watching the West Ham versus Berkakara in the Europa League, and I was doing the announcing there, and obviously, and I didn't have a clue about any of how to pronounce anything. No one knew anything. And they were laughing at the striker for Berkakara, who was a guy called Fabrizio Macaulay. And obviously, he's like a proper Italian former international. He's he's like me. He's a big lad now, and they were sponsored by McDonald's, which was quite funny as well. And they were laughing at it. Do you remember? And Mark Noble did the, and they were laughing, and I was like, no, honestly, I said, no, guys, he used to be really good. They went, no. So I had to get my phone out, Wikipedia, showing them for, he played for, I don't know, Inter Milan or whatever. They were like,
played Serie A for quite a few years, didn't he?
Yeah, it's like international, like, yeah. But yeah, top guy, and he always gets a great reception when he comes back. Well, obviously when the fans are in, he always gets a great reception. But no, I like Czech. Yeah. Czech was a lovely bloke. Right, okay, we've got Noble, we've got Czech. Who is next there, my friend?
I'm going to go... So I've gone with a 4-4-2, nice and traditional.
Nice.
Left mid, I've got to go best player I've ever seen in a West Ham shirt, Dimitri Payet. You talk about memories, some of the goals he scored, free kick against United in the Cup, free kick against Crystal Palace, his solo goal against Borough. There's so many times where in games you just thought, this is so even. And then he's the difference. Like, he was legitimately probably one of the top 5 players in the world at that time, and to have him at West Ham, that was just mental. Like, you look at the stats, the chances created stats, especially for that period, he was above the Ozils, the Messis, the top players at the time. He was just leading the way. And I remember the Euros, when he went to the Euros, and I was almost supporting France, and he scored a lot of crucial goals, and was I think he won player of the tournament, and it was just like, he was just absolutely on top of the world at that time. It was incredible to see.
Yeah, no, he was. You're totally right. And it was just having someone who was like, literally one of the top players in the world playing for your club. It's a feeling we're probably not going to get too often. So, again, should have enjoyed it more when he was playing for us. And I mean, people are making parallels to Mr. Lingard and his impact on the team, albeit a shorter amount of time, arguably, but
too soon for me.
Yeah, I mean, Payet made the. It didn't make. He'd get a lot of. I think Lingard's different. I think I see Lingard's more of a team player. Do you know what I mean? Payet was very much for Payet, and that's no wrong about it, because he was a fantastic player. And I think the wounds have been healed somewhat now, so people are appreciating what he, because obviously that final season, he gave us that final. If it wasn't for him, we would not have had that season. It'd been such an amazing season. So yeah, and he's something like still top of like some like Premier League like chances created or something ridiculous 5 years on or something ridiculous.
It's mental. He's still hanging around in the top 5 for like chances created since 2013 or something like that, and he was only playing fully for two and a half seasons. It's mental. It's mental.
Yeah, crazy.
Yeah, what a player. Okay. 10 million as well.
I know, crazy, isn't it? Two Soufals.
Two Soufals.
Right. That's how I sort of judge players now. You can get 5 Vladimir Soufals for 21 minutes. Right, okay, so we put Payet on the left. Who's going to go on the right then?
I'm going to go, it's a bit of a cheat because he did play up front, but he was a winger as well. I'm going to go with Marko Arnautovic.
Ooh.
Another one.
Snake to another.
Yes, another controversial one. And I think the wounds haven't healed as much with Arnautovic yet. There's still been rumours that he could come back to West Ham, and a lot of people are really, really against it. But he was just such a bastard, and they're horrible to play against players like that. But when you've got them on your team, it's brilliant. I remember when we were playing against Burnley, and he shouted in one of the defenders' faces. I think it was
he laughed at him, didn't he?
Yeah, laughed at him when he scored, and it was just he was one of those players that just wound up the opposition so much. But it was so brilliant that he was on your side.
Yeah, no, we do well with those types of players. I mean, we obviously Kevin Nolan was very much our bastard player. Craig Bellamy, people like that. And you're right with Arnautovic, he was a nasty piece of work for the opposition. And the ironic thing is, he's the best person for the Davy Moyes position. Yeah. That striker. Yeah. You know what I mean? Antonio he's had to make do to get Antonio in. I don't think he would have been necessarily his first choice, but he's worked. Arnie was the best player for that striking position. He could hold the ball up. He had skill. He had pace. He was strong enough. He could hold it up as well if he wanted to. And he scored a lot of goals for us in a relatively short amount of time as well. And again, as you said, he started on the right, floundering under Bilic, in my opinion. And then Moyesified him into this striker, and he just terrorised defenders, as you said, laughing in Ben Mee's face, against Burnley and stuff. I mean, absolutely brilliant. It'd be interesting to see if he ever did come back to these shores. I don't think he would, because I think Moyes... there was rumours that he turned down signing Diego Costa because of that, keeping the team spirit going. Yeah, and I think he would know, the effects that he had leaving the team. Mark would obviously have him in his ear telling him that. So, but yeah, Arnie. Right, okay, up front then, who's your first striker then, Johnny?
So first striker, I'll go with one from the past. Going to go Dean Ashton, who I think is still, probably the best striker again that I've seen at the club, but just career was hampered by injuries. And you saw even in Mark Noble's testimonial when he scored the overhead kick, he's still got it. And he was just such a talented player, but his career was just cut off too short, because he could have had a brilliant career for West Ham and England. And such a shame. It
is a shame, and you're right. He was. I mean, there's no doubt he would have been an England international for many, many, many years, and he would have been critical for England. He'd been, because he was just that, as you said, a complete striker. I've said it before. He's the player that Harry Kane wishes he is. Do you know what I mean? Because
spot on.
Because he would never. I mean, the way I saw it, you're right. He was a complete striker. He had enough pace to get past. It wasn't blistering, but he had enough to get past players. He was skillful. He had a shot. He'd score on both feet. And I'm not being funny. I would never see Harry Kane doing a bicycle kick. Would you? He's just not that type of player. Whereas Dino was knocking him out of the park. Man United, he said even bloody Mark Noble's testimonial, how many years after he technically retired, still got in his locker. I mean, who knows if he wasn't injured and Sean Wright Phillips hadn't done him in, how many years he'd still be at West Ham. I can see him of going to Man United and partnering Rooney for England and Man United. But that's a sliding doors moment. But Dino, top shout. Was he in my 11? Yeah, he was in my 11 as well. And who's Dino going to partner up front then?
I'm going to go with Michail Antonio as his strike partner. I could have put him as my right back, my right winger, my left winger, but I've gone with him as my striker. Right back, and that just shows how right back, how versatile he is. But I think he's one of these players that I think I heard someone say the other day that he's the best worst player that they've seen, because he doesn't really. I think I saw it on Soccer AM a few years ago. He said he doesn't even know what he's going to do when he gets the ball. So how are defenders meant to know what he's going to do?
Exactly.
He's such a handful. Like any defenders that come up against him, it's so difficult because he's so strong, he's so quick, and then he's just got that unpredictable element as well. And his finishing has improved lately, and it's shown in his goal return this season. Without the injuries, he would have, he would be right up there. So great player.
I know what you mean. Yeah, it is. And again, I think there's something special about a player who's come through the ranks. He hasn't gone into the academy, from the age of 8 and stayed at Man City and ended up like Foden or that type of player. He's worked his way up from non-league, and you can see, he takes every game so seriously. The frustrating thing is now, that Wolves game where he just that half an hour, but he gave probably the best half hour I've seen him play.
It's incredible.
He was absolutely on fire. And as you said, he has improved definitely. I still say we're a striker away from being a dangerous team. If we had a striker, we've hit the post, well, including Jared Bowen hitting the post himself. I think we've hit the post, including Bowen, 21 times, I think, or 21 times this season.
Most in the league.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, he's a top boy. As you said, the best worst player he's seen. Yeah, that's a really good way of explaining it. Really good way. Right, so that's the squad. There's the team, man. There's the team. See, I managed to type in Jaaskelainen correctly. Had to reduce the font size for it to fit in. But yeah, nice team. I like it as well because it's not an obvious team. You know what I mean? People like Kouyate, Arnautovic don't get a lot of shout outs, but as you said, it's just a generational thing as well. And as you said, you could easily have been influenced and put in, more of the team that's at the moment. But no, I think you played a good one there, Johnny. I think you played a good one. Right, and that's it, my friend. Obviously, anyone who hasn't, I mean, with 30,000 people on Facebook, you've probably got quite a few fans. But obviously, check out West Ham Fan Zone on Facebook and Twitter and Instagram, and make sure you keep an eye on them because, as you said, more stuff's going to start coming in soon. And
a lot more to come. A lot more to come.
Brilliant. And then obviously, thank you to everyone for watching or listening. Whatever you've done, give it a like, give it a share, become a member, become a patron, whatever. And from myself and from Johnny, take care, everyone. Stay safe. Wash those hands. Get those appointments. Get your jabs. You've got a little while to go, I imagine, Johnny, for you to get jabs. So don't worry, man.
I've got to wait.
You don't like fat enough, or you don't like old enough. I was fat enough, so I'm one done already. One done, but yeah. But anyway, for me and Johnny, take care and stay safe. Come on, you irons, and we'll see you all again very, very soon. Take care. Much love, Bowie.